All right, friends. Well, thanks for hopping on and watching. We have some really fun things going on our team, on Agape, on Team Inspire, and it's just going to be really exciting. As you guys have heard, we are going to do another recruitment push in November, which is really perfect with the team challenge that Beachbody is doing as well. We are going to partner our team with Team Inspire, and we're going to do a Team Inspire group. So Allie is going to be sharing a link with that sometime soon here. I think she's already created the group, but basically there's going to be a Facebook group that's created. You can join that Facebook group, and by you joining that private Facebook group, you're saying, I want to join this Beachbody Team Challenge. And then we're going to officially register as soon as we get 20 people into that group. So this is going to be really great. Every single month that I've done the Success Club challenges, my income is always highest, and it just always goes better because you have the added accountability. When you know people are kind of working together, you're working toward a goal, and people are seeing your Success Club points, it just kind of lights a fire underneath of you. So I think that's a really good thing and a really powerful thing. And just being in a group doing that along with doing a recruitment push is going to be perfect. So just a few tips as you're getting started now. I would start making lists of people that you want on your team. And I'm not talking like, your sister's grandma. I'm talking like people who you look up to and respect. The way that you're successful is bringing on people who are A players and who are going to work hard and put the work in. Those are the people who are going to excite you and energize you to work with. And that's the people I want you to be able to have on your team too. So start making that list now. When I make my list, I make it 50 to 100 people long, which sounds excessive, but it brings the return to convert. Typically, about half will respond, and it'll end up being like 10% can actually get on a call, and about half of that will convert. So just think numbers wise, like large number of leads leads to a small number of conversions, but those conversions make a big difference. Even 2 amazing coaches makes a huge difference in your business. So remember that. It'll feel overwhelming, but the end result will be huge. So I would really highly recommend you get in that challenge. It'll be great community and great accountability through the recruitment push. It's like literally perfect timing. As far as the rest of the year goes, that's kind of going to be our main focus. I'm really glad that some of you asked me to talk about content, because the content you post now is going to decide how the rest of your year goes and your New Year's groups and things like that. So I'm excited to answer your guys' questions there. We do have a couple girls on, and I do want to just hop on and just kind of all chat a little bit. I do like these calls to be a little more conversational, so they are you kind of feel like you're talking to real people and you're not just hearing me talk all the time. When we were on a leaders call with Amanda yesterday, she encouraged each of us to kind of share what was going on in our life and the one thing that we were thankful for, which I think is so great. So I would love to hear from each of you, Amber and Allie. Just tell me one thing either that you're thankful for or that's going really awesome in your business right now. I'll start, and then I'm going to turn it over to Amber. So be ready, Amber. I shared on mine, I always divert to my husband first because he's the man. But I do really want to talk about my daughter, Ellie. She has just been such a joy lately. And I remember, I think all of you as moms will appreciate this, a year and a half ago when I started working with Beachbody, just having all these scares of like, is it going to make enough money? Am I going to be able to be home with her? Is this worth the switch? And it so has. And it's just such a blessing to be able to see her every day and watch her grow. And I'm glad that you mamas get to see that as well. So her as a blessing, and of course my little baby. So Amber, what are you currently thankful for?
Honestly, I am thankful for getting sleep, because this has been like, since my daughter has been born, I've gotten no sleep. And then my son was going through a phase where I think he was scared of going to sleep. And so we were up all night with him, and then I was up all night with her. And so it really put a damper on me being successful as far as like getting up early and getting everything that I need to done. So everything's been going good, and I've finally been getting sleep, and I've been able to be successful in that area, and I've been able to be up and get stuff done.
That is so great. Sleep makes a huge difference for us. I remember those first couple months of just being a hot mess. As soon as I slept, everything started changing. So love that. Love that you're sleeping. And I love Allie. Hello, cutie. How are you, Addie?
Hey, guys. Sorry I'm late. I couldn't figure out how to get on.
Totally fine.
Okay. So Jasmine, you said one thing that we're thankful for right now. Okay. I just hired Amanda to be my business coach, and I'm super excited I'm super thankful that I could do that. And she's already, we had our first consult today, and she's given me a ton of direction already. So I'm really, really thankful for that, and for not feeling like I'm just spinning my wheels anymore. So.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Are you doing the business accelerator?
Yes.
That's what I did literally in November of last year.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it well. So yeah, so I'm really excited.
You'll love it. She's so great. You'll love
she
it.
Is.
Oh, so fun. I love that, guys. Well, one thing I just want to encourage you ladies to do is each and every day when you lay your head down, when you wake up, just remember all the good things that are going on in your life. I know sometimes this business gets real crazy. Sometimes you're on the highest of the high, and sometimes you hit the lowest of the low. But through that, as I know, both of you and a lot of you in this group are believers, is that through all the ups and downs, God is continually present and steady in your life, and He is continually giving us things. And sometimes when we get caught in the nitty gritty, we forget. So each morning, when you wake up, when you lay your head down, just think about all the good things that did happen that day. Even if your kids were crazy and maybe your husband was cranky, you're breathing and you had food to eat, which not everyone has, right? So just keep remembering those good things that are happening, and that'll help you get through on those tough days, and will just make you so appreciative of the really great days as well. So I definitely want to keep this very conversational. This is for you guys to ask questions. My thought is maybe we start with Amber, and just you ask a question. We answer, we kind of talk through it. We go to Allie, she asks a question. And then as you guys feel good about your questions, if there's time left, I'll just share a couple tips on content. And I just have a few brief tips to give you some structure. Does that sound okay? Perfect. All right. So Amber, do you want to go first?
Yeah. So my main question is, I know before you were talking about reaching out to people, and I think that's the scariest part for me throughout this whole thing. And since I'm still new, I just want to know what you do. Do you write your names down, and then do you just message them? What do you say? How do you be successful and not feel pushy when you're talking to them?
That's such a good question. So you'll realize as time goes on, there's not a set structure, but there is definitely a beginning structure, and I'll kind of talk through that. So when I write my list, I think of really awesome bloggers, really great moms who have a great social presence. Doesn't even just have to be social presence, could be very involved moms in your church, any types of people who are just have a following and have who inspire you and who are making a big difference in the world. And I, a lot of times, honestly start by reaching out as a fangirl. If it's just an email, a message, wherever they are, typing on their blog, more personal message, they'll make a message their blog or something, and just saying hey, you know what, I've been reading your blog for a while, and I am so thankful that you write these every week. I so appreciate the content you share, and just kind of sharing how they inspire you. And typically when you say a compliment like that to someone, they're going to respond, and, just seeing if it allows for conversation. Obviously, I never want you to be pushy. But just starting as a fan, as someone who inspires you, obviously not creepy, but just sharing that you appreciate what they're putting out there and that they are making a difference. As that unfolds, feel free to comment on future blogs. I don't think you're on Instagram, but when they post maybe on their Facebook page, commenting yourself and saying something, messaging hey, that particular blog resonated with me. I then take a step into doing some type of partnership with them. So I do have a blog. For a long time, I was doing a lot of guest blogging. So, hey, I love your blog so much. I would it's inspiring me, and I want you to inspire my readers. Would you be willing to, write a guest blog for me, and I can share it with my list? So you're kind of helping them out. You're building a relationship with them as well. And you're kind of figuring out if there's someone that you work well with, who, as you get to know them, you see that they're timely, that they respect you, that, those kind of things. It's almost like you're interviewing them as you're partnering with them. Doesn't just have to be a guest blog. It could be like a webinar, a code-led webinar you do together on some topic. Which would be really good for you, really good practice, just getting and talking in front of people. Those are the most common ones you can do. It's hard. There's a lot more options on Instagram. So, for Allie, for example, you can do some kind of like giveaways. You can do shares on both of your platforms of each other, which you can actually do on Facebook as well. Like, hey, if I promote something for you, could you promote? Just finding ways to like share each other and promote each other, and seeing if they're willing, if they're timely, if they're excited, if your passions you see still align. From there, it's just continued like finding ways to have conversations. So for me, I now have created that Run Coach community, and I know you also have do you still have that cleaning community page? Okay, I was trying to find it the other day and I couldn't find it. But even saying like, hey, I know you're an influencer, you write these amazing recipes. Would you be willing to come into my Facebook group, share, like you can totally get clients out of it if you want to, like obviously, and share whatever your rules are, like make sure she's clear. But I would love it if you hop in, hey, do you want to do a live video in my group? And like my people would love to get to know you kind of stuff. Just finding any ways to converse on your platforms with them, and keep allowing for conversations. Eventually, when you keep talking and talking and talking, something's going to come up about their family, or I'm thinking of one conversation I had with one of the original Beachbody coaches, and I had no intention of honestly bringing up the opportunity, but I had in the past. It was probably like 3 months I had brought it up. And she had brought up something like, man, your running business is really great. That's so cool. You can do it from home. I wish I could do that. And I was like, Chris, sorry, you have a great blog. You can do that. And so we just started talking, and I was like, why don't we just hop on the phone and like, let me hear what you want to create, and let me figure out if I can help you, or if a simple way for you to start, which was Team Inspire. We hopped on the phone, and it was great. And she started as a guest blogger. I had reached out to her prior, and it was just not the right timing. And after building that relationship long-term, working with her, that's really what made the difference. So how do you think that you could implement that based on your Facebook page and your Facebook group?
I feel like I need to reach out, and I think I need to expand and look for people. I don't think I've really been doing that. And I think that's what I'm going to sit down and do tonight. I feel like that would really work and really help.
And one thing you can do is, I'm sure, do you feel like you have some ideal clients in mind who you're like, man, I wish I could work with them as a client?
Like me be their client?
Yeah. Or? No, you be their coach. Are there people who you're like, I would love to coach them?
Yes, a few.
This might sound creepy, but I want you to go to their Facebook profile page, and I want you to look at the pages that they like. Okay. And see if they follow some big bloggers, like what bigger, well-known people they follow, and start learning about those blogs and those Facebook pages, and reach out on their pages and stuff like that. So, because the nice thing with a Facebook like page is businesses want to answer your messages, and they want to answer quickly because it pops up on your profile how fast you answer your messages. So they're likely to message you back quickly if you message their like page too.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that you could go in and look and see who they all liked and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's a little creepy, but it works. So that's how I do my targeting, my Facebook ads. I look at my like ideal clients, and I say, okay, they like this page, I'm going to target that page. If that makes sense. So sweet. And then as you build the relationship, invite them in your Facebook group.
Yeah.
That's a great place to get to know them better and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have a question, Allie?
Yes, I do. So I saw one of your live videos the other day in the Run Coach community about how you have created like a 4-month program, or like an extended program. So every month you're not like oh, I'm doing this boot camp and like starting over. And I wanted to I really want to figure out how I can create a program just as a Beachbody coach, because like I'm not a run coach, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a personal trainer. So I'm trying to figure out how I can create a program that's, like at least 4 months long, so I can continue with the clients that I'm working with and not feel like I'm restarting every month.
For sure. I love that. So let me talk through timeline and then we'll talk through program. So
okay.
Building up to the 4-month program, I kind of, obviously we start with like month long. Like my first business course was a month long. So, challenge groups are month long. You kind of figure out the structure, what people like, and you use that data, that empirical evidence that says, okay, my people like this, they didn't like that. And you use that to create a 2-month program. So you think about what are the things that they really loved from this program, or that the results they saw were the best. So what would you say were some things that your clients like loved about your challenge groups, your 3 or 4 week challenge groups?
I would say either recipes or probably recipes.
Okay.
First of all.
Okay.
Which,
yeah.
honestly, I hate. I hate recipes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to share another recipe. I don't know. I just don't enjoy it. But yeah, I would say recipes have been super helpful.
Okay.
For my
and that's what's going to bring results, is them eating well.
Right.
That could think like, trying to think what we can call it. Because it's like, if they knew that every week you said like for 8 weeks, you had like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner plan from them, doesn't mean you have to you can repeat recipes, right? But if there was some kind of structure that they got every week from you for 8 weeks,
right.
that might be really nice. It could be in the form of you doing it. It could be in the form of when they opt in, they get the Whole30 cookbook or something. I guess that only has a 7-day recipe, but it's full of recipes that they can use. And you can just say, Monday, use this recipe. Like you can create a cheat sheet or something.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I would make it your goal to move it to a 2-month program. And then when you get more empirical evidence and you see like, yes, this worked, yes, this didn't work, it's almost like a beta program.
Okay.
Then you move to a 3 or 4 month.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So I remember I talked to you too about this person, but Jamie Kellum.
Yes.
Yeah. So did you get to talk to her at all?
I haven't had the chance yet, but I've kept her in mind. I'm going.
Yeah. That's one person, even if you haven't had time to talk with her, just look at her Facebook page, look at her ads, look at her blog, because what she essentially does is you buy a challenge pack and you, then she charges $97. So basically she just calls, it's a $250 boot camp, like period. Okay. Like it's advertises that, and then as soon as they say, yes, I'm paying, then you worry about like buy here kind of thing.
Okay.
Then from there out, she's right now charging $97 a month to just roll in. Does that make sense? So they bought the challenge pack and then they roll in the next month for $97 because they already have that. And she actually requires, now that I think about it, they have to be on Shakeology and pay $97. So it's really like, they're really paying her $230 a month.
Yeah.
She's only getting $120 a month, but still $120 per month. She gets like 10 or 20 people in her boot camp. So it's scalable, right? After you start getting large numbers of people, it pays off, right?
Right.
So I think just starting to set yourself up as like, I'm a prestigious Beachbody coach. This isn't just like a discount program where I do the same thing as everybody else. I have something special that sets me apart that my people like. Maybe it's you taking time to make those really pretty meal plans for them, driving them to your blog for recipes, but they feel like they get more from you, and it's worth it to pay more. Something else, does your people do you do like check-in calls with your people?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do them individually or on a group?
Individually.
Okay. As we move down the road, I would say structure your program so they get a call every week, but it's a group call. So
Okay.
maybe every Tuesday, you say every Tuesday at 10 a.m. we have a call for, the first, second, and third week of the month. And so you get the last week off, so you feel like you get a break, right?
Yeah.
And they can answer, they ask you any questions, but they get to know the group a little more. It brings around a sense of community.
Okay.
And you can have 100 people in the group, and you'll make one call a week versus 100 calls a month. That's a lot, right?
Right.
So think for your business purposes, if you still feel like I want to learn from the calls, I'm okay with it. But I think within the next month or two, especially as Amanda's going to teach you to scale the group, I would structure more to a group call.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. Any more, do you feel good about moving forward with like a 2-month kind of program? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can definitely put something together with that.
Yeah. And I guess you could market it as, let's see, 2 months would then be $140, $240, $340. So they can either pay you $340 up front, or they do a payment plan, but that is a penalty. It's like I charge a 20% penalty for people who go on a payment plan.
Yeah.
But people, like, when you find the right people, they're going to pay you. Like,
right.
Don't let people like, it's
Right.
expensive. Like, oh, you're not the right person.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I said 340 times 2. So that's a $68 payment penalty. So if they paid in payments, that'd be 320 plus 68. They'll end up paying you $388. So just think about that. Like, pay me in full, then you get that. But if you pay me in a payment plan, you're gonna have a little bit of a penalty, because a little more stress on you, because you're setting up a PayPal thing. You got to check it and make sure it goes through. So it's valid to allow you to charge more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And that might require you to start. I know you're list building. Have you done, and I've seen your Facebook ads too. How are they going for you?
Not well. I am going to try and like find a course or something on Facebook ads, because I have not gotten like any conversions at all. So
one thing I think with you in the Business Accelerator, is she still doing it where she makes a sales funnel for you? She makes an opt-in.
Yes.
Okay, that will help. Can I share my screen with you guys quick?
Yes.
I'm going to show you a little bit. Can you guys see my screen? Like my Google Chrome?
Okay.
Do you see it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just show you my Facebook ad that I ran last week. Because the thing is we might think they're going bad, but we just have to understand like the numbers and how they convert. Because you might look at my ads and be like, wow, those aren't doing very well. But in theory, they're working. Let me show you. So I always recommend using Power Editor. But last week I ran an ad for a webinar that I just did today. I think I ran the ad for 5 days. And the thing, if they don't cover Facebook ads in the Business Accelerator, I recommend doing Zach Spuckler's Rock Your Facebook Ads course. It's $200, so it's not cheap, but that's what I did, and that's how I've like started figuring out ads. He's just really good. He's like Heart Soul Hustler. I don't know. Have you heard of him before?
Yes, actually, I think I just joined his group or something. Yeah,
literally follow him. Even if he starts giving free resources, take any free stuff he has on Facebook ads. You'll start learning and figuring them out, because it's like, it's common sense, but it's not. So let me show you this here. This is an ad I ran. And you'll see I have 10 different, these are called ad sets, which means like, think of this ad as being run to 10 different groups of people, right?
Okay.
And I was figuring out what was converting. So I always set my ads up for conversion when you go in. I also have found that actually making an ad versus like just boosting a post does way better. My boosted posts do not do well. So if that helps, I know it's just like you think, oh, I should boost a post, but for some reason it like doesn't do as well. But what I literally did on these ads is I target specific people. So I was kind of talking about, you target people that your people like. I know my people like Michael Hyatt. They like Nike Run Club. And I'll create an ad that only targets one specific thing. So it's not like targeting 5 different things. Like, you know, you can target like 20 things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only targeting on this specific ad people who like Michael Hyatt, because I'm figuring out what's converting the best. So what this is showing me is these are people who opted in for my webinar from the Facebook ad and how it converted.
Okay.
So see here, like this one got 8 conversions. Oh, well, this one didn't get any. Well, I'm not using that one again. You know, this one didn't get any. This one didn't get any. So you see, okay, the numbers for converting are well. The thing you want to look at is the cost per conversion. So you'll see like, oh, I'm paying $3 for a person to get on my list. That seems expensive. Well, here's the deal. Here's an example. Okay. Last month, your list typically converts anywhere from 1 to 10%. So that means for every 100 people you get on your list, 1 to 10 people are going to convert into your program, just depending on price.
Okay.
Up to 15, 20%, but that's if your price is really low. Last month, I ran a video series, and I got 50 people on my list. It was converting at like, oh my gosh, $5 or $6. So 50 times $5 or $6, I probably spent $500 on that Facebook ad. I can't remember the exact number, but that feels uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. My program cost, like, I think at the time, $2,500, and I got 3 clients. So like, is it worth it to run the ad? Yes, right? It's like, okay, if I'm going to spend $500 and it converts that large, then it makes sense. But it's just understanding like, okay, if I'm going to pay $3 conversion, but I know that at least one person will convert out of 100. So if I can pay $300, well, let's say it converts better than that. If I pay $300 for an ad and it converts 10 people and I'm going to make $3,000, then is that worth it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I think what it comes down to is just saying like, okay, I want to get my conversions around $1 to $5, and I want to figure out what works, what targeting works. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And these are definitely questions to ask Amanda on your calls. Get in Zach's group and ask questions. Like, he has like 1 day a week where you can just ask questions.
Okay.
But I recommend this strategy of testing to figure out, like, now I know not to use Nike Run Club, but I know that like Michael Hyatt and my like page work really well.
Okay.
And so from now on, I'm going to target those.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Does Facebook actually charge you for how many people like interact with your ad, or is that just like it's like divided by the amount of people that it's reached and then the cost?
Good question. So it depends. Facebook charges you based on what you choose when you go in. So like right when you go in, it says like, what's the goal of your ad? You can do clicks or you can do conversions. So they'll cost you for clicks if people click. But what you want is like, you don't want people to just click on your ad, right? You want people to click on your ad, put in their email address, and then like opt in. That's what you want. So you want to set it up for conversions pretty much always.
Okay.
So you'll pay per conversion.
Okay. Okay.
And that'll be based on your targeting and like how many people see it and things like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I know it's kind of like a lot and it's kind of dorky stuff.
No. I really appreciate it. That helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
So perfect. All right, Amber, do you have another question?
Okay. What is the difference between a boosted post and what you were just talking about?
Good question. I will share my screen again and I will show you. So when you're on, I'm just going to go to my Facebook like page. And I can look at any post on my Coach Jasmine page, which I'll share here. Oopsies. Oopsies. Is that it? Oh, that is not me. So basically, when I go to my Coach Jasmine page, there's just like posts that look like a typical Facebook post. You know, they're a picture and some words. And what I can do on these is I can actually boost them. So you'll see when you get on your page, like for example, this that I posted this morning, 320 people saw it, okay? And then a few people engaged. 320 people seeing that post is really not a lot. So what you can do over here, it says boost post. you can click, and what it's basically going to do is it's going to push it up in people's news feeds. So you'll notice maybe on your feed that when you first come on, you'll see like a friend or family member's post, and pretty much immediately after you see either a boosted post or an ad. And what they're going to do is they're going to Facebook is going to place your post up in the feed. The problem for some reason with a boosted post is that people are, immune to it. So they see tons of posts over and over, and it's just not, they don't see it as like an ad, honestly. Like for some reason, the look of an ad is different. So let me even just show you, like I'll go to my homepage here. I have a post here, like look immediately. I have a post here. Immediately after, someone's mowing the lawn outside. I have a sponsored post. Now this one specifically is a boosted post. I can tell because it says sponsored right here, which most ads don't say, and it looks more like a Facebook post where, let's see if I scroll down here, it's not an ad. You know what I'm talking about? The ads, they just look a little different. It's like a picture, there's like a little box on the bottom. Right here, that's kind of what an ad would look like. It would have a picture and then some words, and typically it'll say something like learn more where it says share. But for some reason that setup, it looks different in the feed and people are more likely to click. Here's a great example of one. So it looks really professional. It's obviously clickable. It kind of talks about whatever she's trying to get me, opting in with Facebook ads. So this is an ad, and that's what I create when I go to my ads manager. Like if I go to manage ads, that's what I will create. I will make this and I'll go in, I'll pick my targeting. I'll write these words. I'll upload this picture. I'll write my headline. I'll choose like what my button looks like, and it'll look like that versus looking like a picture in words. Does that make sense, Amber?
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're clicking on a link almost.
Pretty much.
Okay. I've always thought that when it said sponsor, it was either boosted or whatever that you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your ads on Facebook.
Yep. Yeah. For some reason, it just works way better to do the link looking posts.
Right.
I think it's more obvious to click on it and to go to it, I think maybe for people, where it's like a sponsored post just looks like another post and people are like, oh, it's just another post. And they just keep scrolling for some reason.
Right.
So good. Any other follow-up questions with that after? Cool. Allie, do you have another question?
I am trying to build my team right now. I have a ton of boot campers, but I'm just having a really hard time with converting them. And like a lot of them are really skeptical. A lot of them are lacking confidence. A lot of them don't think that they're qualified. And I just was wondering if you had any thoughts about that.
Yeah, for sure. So are you doing any type of organized, I could maybe call it an event to allow them to learn more? Well, let me back up. Are they interested or are they just saying no right away? Like,
they're pretty much just saying no right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes no can mean yes later. Like they just need to figure it out. Like they need to learn to get to the trust factor with you. And it just takes time. Like pretty much almost every person who's been on my team, probably said no to me once or twice and actually converted. So it is a timeline, and it's a relationship building piece. I'm getting like weird lighting everywhere. Sometimes having some type of organized event or system makes it convert better. So, like something that might work really well for you is like a webinar where you share like what, well, let me kind of go back to this. When you think of yourself as a business person, what value do you feel you could share with people that would, or what value do you think you could share that kind of leads to your success as a Beachbody coach?
I think like how Beachbody has really helped like get my life together pretty much, like helped me be a better mom by giving me energy and like organizing our home around our health. And so I pass that value on to my clients. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like how it's added value to your life. So
yeah,
you as a mother, so would you say you also target moms for your Beachbody team?
Yeah, definitely.
So think of your ideal client and think of how you could share that value in a webinar or in like a free download, which I'm sure like definitely articulate this to Amanda too, so they can help you make that, because I'm pretty sure they will.
Okay.
Something that you would create for them so they could see like, wow, you mean like my life doesn't have to be crazy? I could be home with my kids and like help with the income, and I can like learn how to take care of myself. Like this will enhance my life a lot and my family's life, and it helps me make money. Oh, this is interesting. Like show it in a way that it's like, this has changed my life. Even just sharing your story in some type of video. Like one thing I remember seeing this post on Facebook, it was like hot mess to total success. Like, are you a hot mess, mom? Here, listen to this video and hear how I turned from hot mess to a total success. Or like, listen to my story about being a hot mess. Or I'm not saying you're a hot mess, but like whatever your words were.
Right.
Like, do you find yourself like going out to eat all the time, and like you and your husband gained weight after you both had kids? Like he gained weight with you while you were pregnant. I don't know. Like, is your life kind of like in shambles, and you want something that's going to actually make it come together? That's going to help you earn money. Here are my 3 tips, or here's my free training, or here's my download. So you can start making steps toward being living the life that you want to live.
Okay.
I think would really resonate with your people.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
I'm also wondering if, for you, Allie, maybe you could like make a group, like a sneak peek group, 5 days, sort of like in the life of a coach or something like that. Let them at least have a sneak peek so but they can still, kind of see what it would be like.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea too. Thank you, Amber.
And then with that group, you don't have your own private Facebook group, do you? Like
you mean group. Like I have my brand page, like I have Fit for Motherhood.
Right.
Is that what you mean or no?
I mean, like, you know how I have the Run Coach community that's like a private community page? Do you have a private community page?
No, I don't.
Okay. One thing bouncing off of Amber's is like do that 5 free day thing, and then turn it into like a page where you can just get moms. Like, have you seen Jenna Corelli's page, Perfectly Imperfect Moms?
Yeah, I'm in it.
Okay, yeah, like so great. She's like sharing her motherhood story. She's a business coach, right? Like her goal ultimately is to find more moms to help them start their businesses. So like, you can definitely take that approach of like, I'm a mom, like here's my life, here's how I'm working to make my family healthy, here's how I'm running a business, and sharing that value. And day in and day out, when you're on live and you're getting to know people, they're like, okay, I want to get to know Allie a little more and figure out how she's doing this kind of thing.
Okay.
And the nice thing about a Facebook group is that it's going to give them a notification when you go live. It's going to give them a notification when you post, where if you do that in your personal page or your like page, they don't get notifications, right?
Okay.
So that would be a really great idea.
Okay. Thanks, ladies.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. I see that the time is going to run out, but like as there's more questions, I'm like totally fine to keep going. So what you can do is if the time runs out, just click the link again and come back on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I need to just buy Zoom, like the paid version is basically what it is. But so just link back on, because I love talking about this. So I want to answer your questions as long as you guys need.
Okay.
So I'll hop over to Amber then. Amber, do you have a question?
Yeah. A lot of my questions are content questions. And basically like what to post and stuff like that. And I know that there's no schedule that you can do whatever you want and post whatever kind of content that you want. But for like how we're kind of starting to recruit in, I think, the month of November, right? Okay, so how often do I do that? Do I post once a week, twice a week about recruiting people?
Good question. I would definitely do a post on each lead generator night. Two to three lead generators a week is standard. Doesn't mean every lead generator needs to be just like learn about a Beachbody coach, but maybe you also need to like create a free group or create a free download and like promoting that, which you can then lead into your the Beachbody opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So 2 or 3 per week. I would say at least 1 per week of just saying the Beachbody opportunity out loud.
Okay.
But through that, there's a lot of even daily, just like, this is my life. Like right now, like I'm working and I'm doing laundry, you know, like just like, this is how it's going kind of thing. Or here's like a huge win I had this week with my business. Here is something in my business that did not work well. Just sharing your journey as well. People love that. Like they just love to see, honestly, they love to hear that we're real and that we have struggles. They love to see the wins also show like, okay, like she's growing. Like, wow, Amber only started 2 months ago and she's like doing great. Like they're cooking these awesome meals. She like gets to work 2 hours a day, which is great, you know? So it's not necessarily call to action, but just kind of sneak peek into my life kind of posts are really good. And those would be really great in your Facebook group too.
On lead generator, that would be where I should do call to action.
I would.
Okay.
Those are the best nights for sure. Well, I'm going to share the link again, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come out now because I see it's going to go off, but can we keep talking? Are you guys good to ask more questions?